Path of Exile's Talkative Try here. And oh my hooded one, new Path of Exile 2 information is coming from everywhere. Interviews with Jonathan Rogers, legal leaks from the PoE2 event, and people hyper-analyzing every single new PoE2 video and image out there. Videos from awesome folks like Dreamcore and Empyrean. And I am here to sort it all out and get you the best new insights in a single video. That's right, Path of Exile 2 news aggregator Talkative Try here at your service. It is an honor. Here's a high-level overview of what new info this video contains. A showcase of Bandit-like quest rewards in Path of Exile 2 from Havoc, more Ascendancy nodes leaked for the Witch Hunter and Titan, the most important new info from the Ghazzy and DM interview of Jonathan Rogers, a reminder I am also interviewing Jonathan this week on Tuesday, new passive skill tree insights, a brief look at the insane $480 supporter pack art book, worry not, spoiler areas are marked and announced, a glance at the brand new PoE2 website, another note on the Diablo general manager drama and how we should welcome in all Diablo refugees with open jaws. Then, a final note from me, recording this at 5 a.m., exhausted but so happy all this is going so well thanks to your support. Now, before we get into the belly of the beast of the video, please like the video if you like my content, subscribe to the channel for all things Path of Exile 2, and hit the sub notification bell. These past few days have been insanely successful, and I'd like to keep the momentum going. Thank you. As always, timestamps and sources are in the description below. Now, let's delve on in. Let's start off with this awesome teaser from Havoc, one of the Path of Exile 1 GOATs and OGs, showcasing that there will be Bandit-like character buffs in Path of Exile 2. For those of you who don't know, in Path of Exile 1, there is a quest in Act 2 which allows you to get special character buffs from killing a specific type of enemy, and you get that permanently across your entire character, or you can choose to get passive points instead. Well, we didn't know if that was coming back in Path of Exile 2, where you make this wild decision whether you get this buff to your character or that buff to your character with a quest reward, and showcased here by Havoc, we will indeed get this. These also appear to be pretty darn strong, with one of them affecting your life regeneration, another your mana, and the third just boosting your attack and cast speed. So we have recovery in terms of life, recovery in terms of mana resources, and just better damage. I like the choices. I wonder if you'll be able to respec in between them, and I wonder if there will be more on top of this one. It would be cool if there were multiple tiers of this. We know that bosses are dropping specific character buffs when you kill them, these optional bosses. This is brand new. I will definitely be asking Jonathan Rogers about this in my interview with him on Tuesday. And then we have more Ascendancy nodes leaked from the Titan and Witch Hunter Ascendancies. They are pretty wild indeed. These are posted on Reddit. Like I said, the sources are in the description below. This first one, Colossal Capacity, basically gives you extra inventory slots, just like the Rucksack from Path of Exile 1. 20 extra inventory slots is pretty massive, and it's something that's a quality of life feature that other classes won't get. Now, Jonathan Rogers was asked about this in the interview with DM and Ghazzy, and he said Mark Roberts, one of the game directors on Path of Exile 2, basically said, let's just try it out. Let's see how it works. Maybe people will hate it. Maybe they'll like it. If they hate it, we'll change it, but we're going to give it a go. So they just decided to add it onto the Ascendancy. It is kind of wild that it's just a purely quality of life feature, and it's not really buffing your character power in any way, but I can imagine a world where people are actually taking this for that extra quality of life feel to pick up more loot from a map or just fit more loot in their inventory at once. Next up, we have Stone Skin, which doubles your armor from equipped body armor. This is an OG Juggernaut node, which is pretty cool. Obviously massively defensive, and we know that the Titan is going to be an incredibly tanky class, so I'm super excited to see how high we can push our armor values and just how much damage we can mitigate. Then we have Ancestral Empowerment, which essentially buffs your slam skills, giving you the buff Ancestrally Boosted. We're guessing that this is giving you a spirit that watches over you and slams your attack another time, just like one of the Chieftain Ascendancy nodes from Path of Exile 1. Very cool, very strong, and I love that it's every second slam skill, and it doesn't seem to have any other internal cooldown. So if you massively boost how fast you're attacking, this is just going to get stronger and stronger and stronger. It's not like it has a 1 second cooldown time or 2 seconds, 3 seconds. It's just every second slam. I love it. It's going to be super powerful, and I cannot wait to see what it looks like in game, given the graphical effects that we've seen so far on these Ascendancies. And then we have one of the most busted nodes I've ever seen, Mysterious Lineage. 20% more maximum life. For those of you who don't know, that is a huge boost to the survivability of this class. 20% more is tremendous. If it was increased, not as much, but more, this is going to make the Titan one of the tankiest character types in the game. And if there are life stacking abilities outside of something like the Blood Mage, oh my goodness, we're gonna see some life stackers who are scaling their damage based on their life on the Titan class with this specific node. And now we have two busted Ascendancy nodes for the Witch Hunter for the Mercenary. We start with No Mercy, deal up to 30% more damage to enemies based on their missing concentration. So this basically has to do with their stagger and the like, so you can do a massive amount of more damage to enemies who are flailing about with the Witch Hunter. The amount of damage stacking nodes on the Witch Hunter seems ridiculous, such as the ability with the initial shot giving you a chance to just chunk 30% of their maximum life with that first hit. This class seems like it might be one of the most crazy clear classes in the game, especially in the early end game. And then we have this one, Pitiless Killer, which grants you Culling Strike, I presume to just all of your skills and attacks. And for those of you who don't know what this means that it automatically kills enemies that you hit when they hit a certain life percentage. It varies in Path of Exile 2 based on the enemy type of rarity, so normal, magic, rare, and unique. The values can be found on screen right now. This is going to be busted in many scenarios, but most especially when you're talking about rares and uniques, especially given the fact that you're already doing possibly a huge chunk of their maximum life with your first hit. If you take that other Ascendancy node, you're doing more damage if you stagger them, if their concentration is completely broken, and now you're culling them. Like I said, clearing with the Witch Hunter is going to be, I presume, redonkulous. Now for a very quick overview of all the most important information from the Darth microtransaction and Ghazzy interview of game director on PB2, Jonathan Rogers. I will link to the full interview in the description below. It was a great one. It went 2 hours. It was supposed to go for 1 hour. We'll see if mine ends up doing the same. I doubt it. I'm probably not going to take 2 hours of Jonathan's time. There were some technical difficulties, so I understand taking more and more time, but I'm probably going to go 1 hour unless I can really push it. If you look at my screen right now, here are the notes to the DM Ghazzy interview. There are other people who are doing full recaps on the entire interview. There were about 50 questions in total. I'm going to talk about just a few here right now. The most important and juicy bit of information I think we learned from this interview is that about item tiers and how they work. We learned that there are 10 tiers of items, with the first 5 tiers being completely hidden. And the higher tier an item is, the better modifiers that drop on the item, the higher tier the affixes and prefixes are, and the better their roles are, which is awesome. The 5 last tiers are showcased on items, so if you see a tier 1 through tier 5 item, with 5 being the best, you know that those are the best droppable items in the game. And they roll their values while unidentified, which is something different from Path of Exile 1, wherein everything is always rolled on unidentified items when you identify them. Now, when you pick up these tier 5 items, they should have the best rolls in the game. They should have the best mods in the game. So when you see one of those fall on the ground, you should have your dopamine levels skyrocket. It's going to be a good time. Then they spoke about the Druid and the Huntress, asking whether or not they would be in the game soon. Jonathan's answer was, yes, they are the next 2 classes to be added. They are finalizing details on the Druid. The Huntress is basically good to go. They're just waiting a little bit longer and polishing those finer details. We also learned that there will not just be 2 primary shapeshifting forms for the Druid archetype of skills, but 3. We know about the wolf, we know about the bear. The third one is a mystery. Could it be the cat form that we saw back in 2019? Could it be a were-roa, maybe a bird of some sort, or a dinosaur, a bug? Who knows? We'll find out soon enough. I do hope it's wacky. We also learned, in addition to the demon form, there will be other shape-shifting forms scattered across other classes. I presume that means on unique items, on Ascendancy classes, and just more skills in the game. Shapeshifting truly is something that they can continue to develop for years and years to come. We also learned that you cannot completely brick your atlas. If you have no more paths to continue on your journey, for example, if you fail the first 4 waystones when initially starting the endgame, you get a chance to reset your entire atlas and get a brand new seed, starting from 0. You can also probably do this if you've progressed a decent amount and you would like to restart your seed, but you need to remember the more valuable atlas waystones and nodes are farther out from the beginning of the atlas. So if you do that, if you reset your progress, you're going to lose a lot of progression and rewards. Think about it before you do it. We also learned that Jonathan Rogers himself wrote the first cinematic, the opening to Path of Exile 2, and designed it to be like the Chronicles of Riddick, where there's a group of people going to hunt a bad guy, and then you find out that the people hunting the bad guy are actually the bad guys, and the bad guy is the good guy, and each of them is picked off one by one by the Hooded one. Dude, did a fantastic job. I'm just so happy that they finally got to put a cinematic in the game. He also acknowledged, no, it's not Blizzard quality, but it's their cinematic. It's something that looks good, it feels good, it communicates the vibe of the game and of Rayclast, and he was really, really happy with it. And so am I, and I bet you are too. Jonathan also confirmed that there are no truly bricking mods on waystones or maps, such as Reflect, although there are more difficult mods, and they can be more controlled, because we do know prefixes are all beneficial to you, and suffixes are more detrimental to you. But let's rejoice, no Reflect, especially Zizrin. He's probably very, very happy about that. Finally, we learned that Jonathan Rogers is nervous about launch. They expected to have interest in the early access for Path of Exile 2, but not this much interest. So his sole job the next 11 days is making sure the servers do not explode on launch. They were expecting League launch numbers for Path of Exile 2's early access. And judging from what he said, there are far more people interested based on supporter pack sales, buzz across the internet, and the like. I think we're going to see 400 to 500,000 people on Steam on day one logging in, with 1 million plus watching on Twitch, YouTube videos absolutely blowing up. It's going to be an amazing time, and I wish Jonathan Rogers all the luck on the servers. It was a great interview, as always, from DM and Ghazzy. And remember, I am interviewing Jonathan Rogers myself here on YouTube and Twitch at 5 p.m. Eastern, 11 p.m. CET on Tuesday. It's going to be a great time. I got about an hour with him. We'll see if we go a little bit over that. We'll just have to find out. I appreciate all the support. I cannot wait to see what he has to say in response to some of my questions. Next up, we are getting bunches of information about the passive skill tree, all the notables on it, all the keystones, what the different areas look like for the warrior and the sorceress and the witch and the mercenary and all the other classes. And a lot of this information is coming, yes, from Reddit, as we'll look to in a moment. But another source is Dreamcore, who is doing a complete series breaking down all the different passive nodes on the tree that he found when he was in LA. He captured every notable and every keystone he could. I highly suggest you go to his channel, check out this series. He's going to be drip feeding us Exiles for the next long while. It's going to be awesome to see every single bit about the tree come out, but there is that disclaimer that there will be massive renovations to the tree throughout early access launch. But we do know on launch, it's probably going to be very similar to what Dream is laying out. And if you look at your screen right now, we are getting a lot of other notables very quick for those of us who do not have the patience with no extra awesome Dreamcore explanation on top. We have Bulwark, Apocalypse, Glancing Blows, Lay Siege, Distracting Presence, and Levitation all here from the tree. And there are some crazy notables and keystones on the tree that are doing some pretty spectacular things, as we can see with Levitation, unaffected by enemy ground effects for 1 second after stepping on them. We know us Path of Exile 1 players are going to love that node. We also have Cluster Bombs, Grenade Skills Fire, and Additional Projectile, or Lay Siege. 1% increased damage per 1% chance to block. Block stackers unite. Where's the Gladiator, everybody? And then we have this as well. Fast Metabolism. Life leech effects are not removed when unreserved life is filled. My mind is exploding. Polymathy, 10% increased attributes. Sounds familiar from Path of Exile 1. And then we have repeating explosives. Grenades have a 20% chance to activate a second time. Quick Change Act, 50% increased weapon swap speed. Grenadier, grenade skills have +1 cooldown use. Call the Hordes, 25% increased Culling Strike threshold. You know you're going to take that on the Mercenary with Culling Strike on every single attack. I mean, everyone, people thought the passive skill tree was going to be boring from Path of Exile 2, that all the nodes were going to be very bland and samey in general. I don't know why they thought this. Maybe it's because they said, oh, there's going to be 1,500 plus nodes. That's not the case. They are going hyper specialized with all these different notables and keystones and the paths along the tree. We are going to be able to make limitless builds just with the passive tree. And then we have the Ascendancies, and then we have 200 plus unique items, and we've not seen the vast majority of them, and all the different vectors to edit our character. Path of Exile 2 is going to give build creators a massive amount of options. And I am all here for it, even though I am a casual, not great build maker right now. Okay, here is the part on the art book, my fellow exiles. Huge spoilers ahead. Do not watch this part of the video. Go to the description below, skip to the next timestamp that is labeled no spoilers. There will be no spoilers from that point on. And in all of my video commentary and when I'm playing Path of Exile 2, I will not be referencing what lies within this book, spoiler-wise. I repeat, I will not be spoiling the secrets within the $480 art book from the PoE2 supporter packs while I am playing the game or while I am doing commentary without giving a heavy warning. Okay, with that, let's talk about the spoilers in this book. First of all, Act 4 is in this book, and it basically confirms the Trial of the Ancestors will be the third way to ascend, and perhaps we will be encountering Hinakora, maybe even fighting her. All of the other tribal leaders are also within here, as are some other bosses and monsters from Act 4. The quality of storytelling and the art in this book is just flabbergasting. The actual quality of the book, too, is very high level. I would recommend picking this up within the next year while the art book is being offered in that supporter pack. I don't think there's going to be another way to get it. Highly recommend you do so. For example, here is a character we have not seen, Yama the White. He is basically Wukong in Rayclast. Then we have some Asian mythology style dragons right here that we will be encountering in Act 4. Love to see it. And here is the big Act 5 spoiler. Act 5 of Path of Exile 2 will be Oriath, which has secretly been being rebuilt by something called the Twilight Order, which is led by Lumerius and a bunch of other crazy characters that we're just going to look at the art of right now. I won't go too deep into the story spoilers. Let's just look at that wild art. Here is Lumerius, the first and last Emperor of Twilight. Here is Essie and Polius. Ooh, mysterious. Here is the High Priest, someone we first saw art of at ExileCon 2023. And here is the Countess's first form. Here is the Countess's second form. Oh my goodness. Here is a wild-looking bellhead dude. This is the Preacher, getting heavy Children of Dune vibes from him. Here's just some random monster art that looks so good. And here is the Exacritus. Here is the Stigmata. Here are Gemling soldiers from the estates. Yup, the Gemlings are returning. This page right here is the Den of Pleasure, and it has artwork on it that I don't think I can show on YouTube. I'm so sorry. Now do note the book ends with Act 5, meaning we still have no spoilers for Act 6. Something wild is definitely going to occur. Are we going to Beyond? Are we going to a Burning Rayclast once more, just like in Path of Exile 1? We will find out soon enough, probably on the 1.0 launch of Path of Exile 2. Also, brief hoodie review right here. It's really nice. The only thing I'm worried about is this washing off the logo. The material itself is super soft. It's super comfy. This is a size large. The shirt is awesome quality as well. There's also a logo. The logo on the back too, Path of Exile 2. So anybody seeing you in public will instantly know you are a fellow exile of Oriath or Rayclast. Now right here we have the brand new Path of Exile 2 website, which doesn't contain a lot of new information. It showcases all the different character classes and their ascendancies with their rad ascendancy art in one place. It also lists off, as you can see, the Assassin, the Druid, the Gladiator, the Huntress, the Marauder, and the Templar as the 6 remaining classes to yet be revealed. Maybe they actually did change the Duelist to the Gladiator and the Shadow to the Assassin. We'll have to see. Last time we talked about that, they hadn't changed them, and it was just a little bug or error on the website. Lays out the new skill gem system, and it has this right here, which is my favorite part of the entire new website design. The art of the character's equipment is just phenomenal. And finally, we get some feminine armor sets in the game. Log in. And then we also have the Searing Touch, which is a brand new unique item that grants a skill level 9 living bomb. Have no idea what it does. Cannot wait to find out. If you scroll down, it also showcases the end game and what that exactly looks like. And if we scroll to the very bottom, we get, once again, Face the Pinnacle threat. While mapping, you might come across a giant fortress with a pillar of flame and ash rising from the center that has emerged from underground. Surrounded by an enormous maze riddled with danger, is the maze preventing something from getting in or something getting out? Please leave a comment below. What do you think is inside this maze? What is the hardest piece of content ever in Path of Exile? Ever. Per game director Mark Roberts, the dude designing all the boss fights. Is it Azaro? Is it Atziri? Is it Abaxath, the end of all that is? Who could this be? It might be someone completely brand new, but I think they will flash back to Path of Exile's historic lore, and we will be fighting something insanely cool. Maybe it's the sister of Solaris and Lunaris, Viridi. Someone in my Discord had an excellent theory about it. Highly recommend you join and check out their theory. And just one more final note on this insane tweet from Rod Ferguson, which is blown up. Asmongold reacted to my video on it, which was awesome. I just need to say, anyone who is attributing this tweet to Diablo players or anybody else for that matter, don't do that. We should be welcoming in all Diablo refugees with open arms. Just because Blizzard and Rod Ferguson, the general manager of Diablo, seems to want to diss Path of Exile and claim credit for all it has done for the ARPG industry, all it has innovated. I mean, you don't need to attribute that to anyone besides Rod. It is very unfortunate that he and the board of directors likely cooked this up in a meeting room after they watched the greatest ARPG reveal of all time. But that doesn't mean we need to not welcome all the brand new players into Path of Exile because of his opinion. Welcome everybody, help them out, make sure that they feel like they are at home in Rayclast. And finally, just a note from me. I am recording this as of now 5:30 a.m. after streaming yesterday, spending a lot of the day making videos, and I am exhausted. I have a full-time job. I'm going to be working all this week. My 2 daughters are going absolutely berserk. I want to spend time with my wife as well, but I am going all in and putting all effort in on this channel, and oh my goodness, it's paying off so far. And it's because of all of your support. And as we approach Path of Exile 2's early access, I really just hope to continue up that momentum, continue the growth, get that lore video out. I don't know, Alex, if you're watching this deep into the video, but it's on its way. And just keep making the content that I would enjoy from my favorite game creator for all of you. The support is tremendous. Discord, Patreon, Twitch, YouTube, Twitter, literally everywhere. We broke 250,000 views in the last 48 hours for the first time ever on the channel. The old record was 98,000 in 48 hours. Which is insane. I hope to keep building that up, and I hope I can really invest into this because of all your support. Cannot wait to continue the hype train. We have a bunch of people we're talking to, 45 plus creators. The first few episodes have been tremendous with Off Meta Michael, Jorgen, and Captain Lance. Big Ducks is tonight. Jonathan Rogers is tomorrow. It appears I will be speaking to Asmongold as well. I'm trying to line it up for next week right before the launch. The chances everyone have given me are just extraordinary. I also want to shout out my mod, one of my biggest mods, Omega Cybers, for all the amazing work they have done on my live streams. I want to shout out Darth Microtransaction for all the exposure he's given me, and just, I'm not going to cry on a video. I'm not going to cry. My voice might break, but I might not. I'm not going to cry. Also, to the creator community, CCC, on Discord, you all know who you are. Dreamcore, Localhole, Arrow, Silver, Subtractum, all you guys, just thank you. Thank you for all your support, and thank you all for watching so much. If you haven't already, make sure you like the video if you liked it, subscribe to the channel for all things Path of Exile 2, and hit the sub notification bell. Tons more of stuff is on the way. I will see you in the next one. Stay sane, my fellow exile.